All right, welcome to the Thank Yourself Academy. I'm Natalie.
I'm Tamara, and we are so excited. This is video number 2. So we hope you caught the first video on self-sabotage.
Yes.
Where we talked about the first reason, one of the first reasons that people self-sabotage. Today we are going to talk to you about reason number 2.
So the second reason people self-sabotage, you know that thing that you do that you know you shouldn't be doing this and you're like, oh my gosh, or you're with a client telling them what to do and you're like, oh, I don't do that. Yep. Yeah. So that's that thing. That's exactly what it is. The thing that you know you shouldn't be doing. And I do that. Yeah.
I do it too.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
It's the moments of catching ourselves though, right? When we catch ourselves, then we have awareness of it and we can work on strategies to avoid.
Exactly. So as you're aware of this, then you strategize on how to make it happen. So the second reason for self-sabotage, so we want to stop doing this self-sabotage, and knowing the reason why it happens is really allowing you to put an end to this. So the second reason for self-sabotage is your language. So the negative words that we use all the time are causing our self-sabotage.
You may have, hopefully you've caught our other video too on our personal assistant, because this ties in very closely with our personal assistant.
Yeah. So what happens in our brain is that when you are thinking about something, when you're saying something out loud or in your head, your brain has the capacity of making it happen. So your brain has the power. It's astonishing the power of our brain. We know that. And you can actually recreate everything that you think of just by saying it in your head. So if you are saying things like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, then you have a personal assistant that
tired, I'm going to make that happen.
Perfect. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, I look so old.
I'm going to make that happen as well. She's not going to put on her anti-aging cream today.
See? Or you're saying, oh my gosh, it's going to be a gong show today.
So the gong show at work, check. The personal assistant giggled at that one because I'm going to make sure she gets herself into trouble today.
Exactly. So the thing that we say, these were examples of negative things that we say. We say, I look tired, I am stressed, or it's going to be a gong show at work. What I'm talking about, and the main thing here, is when we think that we're saying something positive, but in a negative way. Because linguistically, we have to be very careful what we say. And you would be amazed at the number of people that sit in my office every day telling me what they don't want. So they sit down in that chair over there, and then they say, I don't want to be tired anymore. I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to be rushing everywhere. I don't want to be impatient with my kids. I don't want to be fat anymore. Or I don't want to be overwhelmed. Or I don't want to not know what I'm doing. So it's like they're asking their contractor that's going to paint their kitchen to paint their kitchen not blue. What color is the contractor supposed to paint it?
Not blue.
Exactly. So your personal assistant is constantly there taking notes. So whatever you say is very important. So your language, you need to really catch yourself.
Yeah. So I wrote down all of those things, and I'm pretending in this moment to be Natalie's personal assistant. So all of the things she listed off, I don't want to be tired. So I put tired, right? I'm frustrated with my kids. I put frustrated with kids, right? All of those little things are going to become self-fulfilled prophecies. You're going to make your personal assistant, your brain is going to make it happen for you. Exactly. So rather than focusing on what we don't want, let's focus on what we want.
Exactly. So if you hear yourself say anything like in these lines, ask yourself, what do I want instead? So instead of being tired, I want to be energized. Instead of being stressed, I want to be calm. Instead of being impatient, I want to be patient. So it's so easy to linguistically, you can break down any problem because our mind doesn't really do anything with the word don't. It has to process the whole information before it can negate it. So close your eyes for a second. Let's just close our eyes. And now, do not visualize Mickey Mouse standing on top of an elephant wearing a yellow tuxedo. Do not visualize Mickey Mouse standing on top of an elephant wearing a yellow tuxedo. Let's reopen our eyes.
Okay, so I totally saw it, but then because he said do not, I saw the Mickey Mouse on top in the yellow tuxedo, but then because he said do not, I put a red line through it in my head.
Yeah, and you saw it anyway.
Yeah, but he was there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not, we can't really do that. We can't really negate anything. We have to process whatever is said, and then we have to negate it. So it's very interesting how the brain works. So knowing that is your best bet at stopping that self-sabotage. So what you want to do is you want to do what you want to do. You don't want to do the things you don't want to do anymore.
Absolutely.
So our next event is Saturday, March 24th. It's in the afternoon. It's in Vancouver, and it's called Think Yourself Thin. So if you do self-sabotage sometimes, if you do the reverse of what you know you should be doing, you're eating well, you're exercising, and yet you can't lose the last 10 pounds. You feel that if you do lose weight, you gain it back, or you always gain weight during the holidays. So if there's anything that you can relate to, or if you know anybody who's been on a yo-yo dieting all their life and they want to put an end to this, just send them our way. This one is Saturday, March 24th from 1 to 5 p.m. And the next one is super fun. So our next event after that is a personality style type of event. So it's all about communication. It's all about first figuring out what type you are. So we've got a personality test that the Think Yourself Academy developed. And we get to identify which personality style we are, what are our strengths, what are we good at, and how to communicate with people of the other three styles. Most likely we do have all four styles somehow. And it's really fun. It's a 4-hour event. It's on Saturday, April 8th. And then you get to figure out what it is that you are, what are your strengths, and then you can figure out what you want to become better at. Is there any of the other profiles that you would rather have more of? And you get to figure out the people in your life, your spouse, your kids, your friends, your coworker, your boss, your clients. What style are they? And by figuring out their style, then you can better communicate with them. And then you can find out that everybody's actually able to speak the same language somehow. It's like learning different languages. I remember when I was in Greece, I was pretty frustrated because I could not understand the language. And when I go to Spain, I'm fluent in Spanish, and I can speak with the locals there, and it makes such a big difference. When I go to France, I can speak with the locals there. So when you speak the language, wow, does it ever make a difference? So think about that, and think about how interesting it's going to be. So join us at the communication event. So we call it Think Yourself Figured Out, Think Yourself a Communication Pro. So it's all about finding out what are your strengths and figuring yourself out as well at the same time as you can figure out how to communicate with others. We're super excited to help you reprogramming your brains, because that's what we do. We reprogram brains so that you will discover and live to your full potential.